Hi, everyone. This is punished comedian Winslow Domain sitting here with no one because I'm just here to tell you that there are a couple blips and beeps on Jay's side of the audio for this episode. We are aware of it. There's nothing we can do about it, so you're going to have to deal with it. Thanks for listening. Love you all so much. Okay, goodbye. Welcome to I'm From the Internet, a podcast about the internet, its users, and their consequences. I am disgraced comedian Winslow Domain, sitting here with internet historian Brandstetter. Jay, how have you been, man?
I've been doing pretty good. I've been sending you pictures of the mold colony I've been growing, my little sourdough starter messes and everything. Just keep them busy as it gets cold.
I sent you pictures of my mold colony. Please respond. Please respond to my colony.
Have you ever seen bubbles this big before?
Oh God, yeah. You know that like there's like subgroups for everything. Where there could be like a goofy looking guy, but he's really good at the piano. And there's going to be some gals that are like, yeah, he's a little goofy looking, but look at how beautiful his hands are. And that exact same law applies to people who are like, yeah, he might be a little goofy looking, but man, have you seen his colonies?
If you need a substrate, he's the first guy.
That boy can spore. Yeah. Say what you will about Jay Brandstetter, the man can froth. Let me tell you, he can work up a strong foam. Jesus, yeah. No, you sent me some pictures of some sourdough starters. It's called what's like the Amish backhoe. What's it called?
Amish friendship starter.
Amish friendship starter. Which I don't know. Sounds euphemistic. It sounds like when you're trying to get a farmer to share your wife. You know what I mean? An Amish friendship starter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you're trying out a beard and you go down on someone, but you're not sure if you're going to grow it out all the way. You're giving your Amish friendship.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Then you showed me that. You showed me some big ass cookies that you're making that are blue for some reason.
Yeah, I realized you can order food coloring off the internet, so I ordered a little sampler of like different like exotic food colors for like professional places. So it's really cool. Just be like, I'll make a rose red cookie this week. Ooh, I think I'll try making a coral blue.
Okay, yeah. So you're going like violently in the opposite direction of RFK.
Yeah, exactly. I'm enjoying it while I still can, basically.
Yeah. Before it gives you like the autism 2 revengeance. Have you seen the article by that Olivia Nuzzi or whatever her name is? Have you seen anything about that?
Which one?
Oh, it's this lady who wrote for Vanity Fair, and she covered previous presidential candidates in the past, and like Mark Strafford or Stanford or whatever the fuck his name was. And was sleeping with him the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that. Okay.
Yeah. And she also has covered RFK Jr. and wrote this article about like covering him for Vanity Fair, where she is just like desperately throwing herself at this guy. And like, it's like the most tortured prose you've ever seen, where she's like, I sent him a picture of my asshole, and he responded with nice.
Oh God, yeah, I've been seeing the quotes from that.
Oh,
how
God.
flawed it is.
And I mean, like, outside of like journalistic malpractice of fucking the person that you're covering, she's also the one who wrote the Vanity Fair article about how Hollywood gets women in journalism wrong because they always depict them as having sex with their subjects. While she wrote that presently while fucking the subjects that she was covering, which I just think is, oh boy.
She meant they got it wrong in the sense that like car people complain about the engine sounding wrong in a movie.
Yeah, like they didn't get the exact details right. Yeah. No, that one was rough because now I have to imagine that. Just have to imagine what RFK Jr. sounds like in the sack, and I'm inclined to think that it sounds like Tom Waits falling down a flight of stairs, but sounds like an old diesel engine starting
Tom Waits
up.
riding a mechanical bull.
Yeah, that's weird and problematic. And then Keith Olbermann, who was mentioned in the article as this being like this 34 years her senior man who was like pouring money onto this woman. Like you could just see his old tweets where he's like scowling at her on the internet, and then you can line up the timelines and realize that that was approximately when she stopped fucking Keith Olbermann. And it's just, we know too much about everyone. Also, why are you trying to fuck RFK Jr., you strange person? Like, we're not mad at you for fucking. You can fuck whoever you want. Don't fuck the people that you're covering. And also, why are you fucking the guy who has, like, a Courage the Cowardly Dog holes in his teeth because of the brain worms and the colloidal silver?
Girl, unvaccinated sperm.
I know, trust me. Like, I have unvaxxed sperm, but it's still got the honeycomb in it. It's not. What are you doing? Please log off. Yeah, there's been a few people that have needed to log off, and I don't want to mention the other one because it's just going to be the entire episode. But yeah, it's been a fun week on the internet. I just did the last Oddities and Curiosities show of the year. I was in Kansas City for that show, and it was fine. But I'm excited to start next year's shows and get all that lined up. And in fact, while I have you, if you're listening to this, hang on. If you're listening and you want to come and say hi, say hi at me at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. Next year, 2026, I'll be in Louisville, Charlotte, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Columbus, Indianapolis, Tulsa, St. Louis, Chicago, obviously, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Detroit, Omaha, and Richmond. So if you're in any of those places, go to my Instagram and check the dates, and I'd love to see you. Come on out. I'll have the game. You can see that, and you can get some sneak peeks at some other stuff that I'm making. So come on out, see me in real life. And the other thing is that we always mention this at the very end of the episode, but I feel like we should do our best to mention it earlier, is we do have a Patreon where for $1, $1 American dollar, which is fucking nothing, you can get access to our entire backlog of bonus episodes that are complete, full research episodes that just don't make it to the main feed. And that's all you need. $1. All of that money goes to Jay and Steve. We've got some real bangers up there. I think the Jennifer Murphy one should be coming up soon. And boy, howdy.
Yeah, that one was ridiculous. When I started researching that, I was expecting it to be like a one-parter. It wound up being a trilogy about like one of the most
she's a delight in the way that it's just like, oh, how do I say this? It's just she's the living definition of I'm not owned, I say as I shrink down to the size of a corn cob. Just a woman who is absolutely dedicated to refusing to cop to her own failures. Did some pretty racist stuff and then made it her entire identity as she slowly circles the drain. So yeah, check out the Patreon. It's a treat. But you've been good? You've been doing things?
Yeah, it's been pretty great. Things are great up here in New Jersey. Weather's been cool. Things have been great with me and Fred all around the house. Things have been doing good with the show. I finished up a couple of big ones for some guests that we're scheduling right now, so I'm excited too. And also, when the new year comes around, we're going to be trying some new stuff.
That's right. We're doing it all in Spanish. We're bringing it to Southern America. That's what we're doing.
That's right. I've been doing Duolingo. Luckily, nothing happened with them, so my Spanish is fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, we're letting that owl take control of the entire pod. But I am looking at I'm looking at a screenshot from the news from Cron 4, and it is a man who goes by the name of Bub Rub, Bubbrub, and he is listed as a whistle fan, which I've really come to love the descriptor chirons that appear under names. Obviously because I was listed as the rat hole guy. But it is a man in a Raiders hat, and he's Bub Rub, whistle fan, and having seen this clip, I know that he is in the middle of going woo woo, which, which is just such a treat. So, do we go into this, or do we just have something completely separate?
This is completely separate. This was just to sort of set the year this takes place. Yeah, if we want to talk about this while we can, we totally can. Because I don't think this will ever be an episode. It's just a fun little thing. Yeah, Bub Rub was very fun. I feel like also I'll start off running things. I'm not very familiar with automotive stuff, so when it crosses over, I'm aware of it. And yeah, this was, the early 2000s was very much a time when car culture was big in pop culture. It was like the Fast and the Furious time. So we had a lot of like whistle tips and stuff, mods becoming popular.
Yeah. So this was a clip about people putting whistle tips on their mufflers that make a loud whistling sound, especially when you gun the engine. And, naturally it's annoying to people who aren't in the car, which is the vast majority of the human race. And so they interviewed all these different people, and they're just like, so how do you feel about these whistle tips that they're putting on cars? And they're just like, it's a bunch of old white people, and they're all annoyed by the sounds of cars, and they're annoyed by the whistle tips, and they're just annoying. And then they interview Bub Rub, and he's just like, I think we're doing a service because we're only driving around during the day, and if you're hearing the whistle tip, you need to wake up and go to work because that whistle tip go woo woo. It's just this infectious enthusiasm. I just think it's such a treat, man.
God, yeah, that was like in terms of like genres of pre-YouTube viral video. Those local news clips were such a font of entertainment.
Yeah,
my favorite is always going to be the leprechaun sighting one, just because the perfect storm of ridiculousness.
I want the gold. Yeah, man. This and like this is right up there with Ain't Nobody Got Time for That, and they up here raping everybody. Hide your sister, hide your wife. It's a whole thing of just really good news clips becoming viral because you put a camera on a random person and just have them talk about any one thing, and you can get some people saying some pretty wild stuff. Takes me back to the Wonder Shows and bit where they have the kid dressed up as Hitler and they're asking the guy with the cowboy hat. He's like a 10-year-old kid. But yes, the guy with the cowboy hat. He says, "Whose hat do you think represents more killing?" And the cowboy just looks down and says, "To child Hitler." Well, I think we both represent a lot of killings, but you guys killed a lot more people a lot faster. It's just such a funny thing to say to a child. Oh, boy.
Yeah, people will play along if you prompt them in front of an audience.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You just let them roll with it. So that has absolutely nothing. Well, I guess it has a little bit to do with what we're going to cover.
Yeah, this is a very text-heavy saga as well. So I wanted to have at least a visual to start us off with, because the actual one I have is just a screenshot from the forum. It's in big red text with capitalizations and misspellings. It says, "Guys, take 10 minutes out of your day and unite to fight the corporate America!" 5 exclamation points, which is a good bad summary of what this is, I guess. Yeah. An accurate summary. But
God, that takes me back to there was this band that I listened to during the days of Manson USA, and the name of the band was "God Bless America" with like 3 exclamation points, and maybe that was the band's name, maybe that was the album name, and the band was called Nursing Home. I can't remember, but yeah, I don't know. I this takes me back. Anyways, take it away, Dave.
Also, to begin, I want to shout out Jason from my Discord for this one. This is the first wholly user-submitted episode we've done. Some of the stuff was on the documents that was submitted by some experience. But yeah, I am very much an alien to the world of automotive forums. This was all new to me, and this was very fun to dig up.
Cool. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. And so this is our first venture into automotive forums. This takes place in 2003, which is the year that gave us Bub Rub to help date us that time in both pop culture and car culture. And, I've talked about on the show, I have worked in the automotive industry before as a driver. I drove for Carvana for a while delivering cars, and I drove for AutoZone for a while delivering parts. But I'm not a car person. I'm not really into car culture or know much about them or have much enthusiasm for them. Even in video gaming, I've never really been a racing game person. It's just like not my thing. So this was very fun. I always enjoy, kind of like how I'm not into sports, but I always love hearing boy stories. It's like I'm not into cars, but I always love hearing these fun stories about cars.
Yeah, like it's kind of the same thing with guns, where like it's a fascination with a type of machine, and I'm not I don't own a gun. I'm not a gun guy, but my roommate was watching a movie the other day, and it was set in France during the 70s, and I was like, oh, that's interesting that they have this kind of machine pistol, because that was before the prevalence of body armor, so they were using all of these spray and pray low caliber machine pistols that were left over from this era of the war. And it's every piece of machine is made up of so many smaller different innovations that you can set it in a very precise point in time. And you can do the same with cars, of just like, oh, you can tell that this car is from here and from there, and it sets it in an interesting place in time. So I get it, but it's just not my thing.
Exactly, yeah. And also, car enthusiasts are kind of unique because they're one of the few big communities that still regularly use forums on the internet to this day. There's a bunch of small cars forums on places. Like one of our listeners is a big car person. They joked that like the majority of modern forum software probably is to car forums, because people love to have their really niche little communities about specific machines or specific clubs. And there's some of these people, like the one we're doing this on, the website is still live. I was able to get this original thread up and going without having to get archive.org up at all. Like these car forums, some of them have
no doubt. And I bet they are, treasure troves of historic data for this kind of thing. I don't know. I guess the thing that I keep coming back to with this podcast is that in its immediate presence, like new data doesn't seem like data. User experiences doesn't seem like anything worth making note of. But then in the grand history of time, we find out that, oh, actually, I wish that we knew more about this. Imagine if we had car forums during the Model T era. How fascinating would that be? So yeah, I think about it's all good data. It's all good information to figure out who we are and where we're from.
Yeah, and a lot of times on the show, the only reason I have stuff to use is because people care enough to back it up. So those people always, deserve credit for that. Yeah,
exactly.
And I just thought before I get into it, I like this story because I'm a strong advocate of the power of being annoying, and this is a great story about a group of people annoying someone to try and get what they want.
Yep, I don't doubt that at all.
All right, so this is the forum that this is going to take place. This is in the North American Subaru Impreza Owners Club, the NASIOC.
I mean, they're taking it very seriously. I guess it has to be specifically North American. I don't know about if there's a difference between the manufacturer when it ends up in another country, like the EU has a different Impreza, or maybe they don't have any Imprezas at all.
Maybe since it's like a community, maybe it's just like people that live in the same area. It's a part of like for non-American listeners, like our car, we have like domestic and imported cars, and a part of like having these imported cars, like it's part of like being a community almost. It's like, yeah, we all sort of own this type of enthusiast vehicle that we imported. We've all kind of gone through a similar experience. It's a way for you to bond with other people.
I'm sure you've seen the image of it's a post on our Facebook group. The Facebook group is called Black Jeep Owners, and it's this guy posted it. It was a white guy with a brand new black colored Jeep, and it's obviously for African American Jeep owners, but he was just like so posted up wearing his J's in front of his Jeep that like it became the most liked post in the entire group, which I just think is very sweet. There's few things more delightful than when a person from outside the community comes in, makes a joke, the community loves it, and then they fuck off. I think that is really fun and sweet. There's that creepypasta subreddit called Fear Me, which is just like goofy little abstract horror images with all caps titles that are supposed to make you feel like you're reading Ben Drowned for the first time or whatever. And the last I saw, which was years ago, the number one upvoted post on that was just a picture of a mom with a plate of cookies, and it just goes, "Oh, I bet you guys are having fun in your scary little farm here. Does anybody want some cookies?" And it's just it's exactly that thing of like creating an outsider looking in, briefly being accepted, and then fucking off. I appreciate it. Anyways,
yeah. And so this begins in the NASIOC forums have a review section, and they have one specifically for dealership reviews. And a poster named Mark D makes a thread titled "Mark Mitsubishi in Scottsdale, Arizona makes me ashamed to be a Mark." And it's 144 pages long, so as you're going to see, this thread got some action.
Oh boy, it is a gross of pages. I take it away. I don't know what to expect here.
Yeah. All right. So it's October 25th, 2003, a week before Halloween. And Mark D is our OP. They joined up about 6 months before this in April of 2003. And I'm going to read their post here. It says, "I was the legitimate winner of an eBay auction last night." And they linked to the eBay auction, but it wasn't archived anywhere and it's not live anymore. So I don't have any pictures of that, unfortunately. I just have other stuff from it. So anyways, to continue. So he bid on auction last night for an Evo. I've been in the market for an STI or an Evo. Each has their strengths and weaknesses. A primary attraction for this car was the final $26,200 eBay price fixed for an untitled car. And it's also one that's been customized and modified. It was probably a show floor model originally. It had a DVD player and stuff put in it back when that was, still unusual in cars. So this was a really good deal, basically, getting it below the sticker price with all these modifications that added thousands of dollars of value on top of it. Like a really good deal to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also for reference, this is a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. So I found a picture of one, and the one he got was red too. So this is about the closest we're going to get to what the actual car looks like.
Do you think that the front grille underneath the logo kind of looks like it has little vampire fangs?
Yes, exactly. Jesus, when he said that, it's just
it does. It does look like a little vamp car in like a cute way, I guess.
I want to drift.
I want to drift. Yeah, I want to drink your synthetic blend. Yes, so we have the Mitsubishi Lancer, which is a small four-door, sorry for the noise, Mitsubishi car, which I don't know. I've never heard good or bad things about Mitsubishi, so I don't know what to expect from any of it.
Yeah, me neither. Like most of the car stereotypes I encountered working at Carvana were like the luxury ones, like Jeep owners and such. I didn't really have that much with this. There were a couple of times when somebody was selling their lovingly like cool lower vehicle, and I was just like, oh god, I hope I don't scrape this thing in my truck. I feel so bad.
Hang on, did you just call Jeeps as a luxury brand?
Well, they're like a lifestyle brand, I guess, to be a more accurate way to say it. Where they have like a very specific type of person that they target. When you do it, you're like, yeah, wow, it is kind of the same type of person always buying this.
Every time, yeah.
There's a reason why all the Jeeps have the ducks in the front of them. Like, yeah, it's like they target a specific person.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the post of, hey, nice rubber duckies in your Jeep. What are you, a pedophile? Yeah, no, there's a reason why, Subarus are like the Portland lesbian car. And then, like, son of a bitch, you talk to a lesbian from Portland and they got a sue. You see it over and over and over and over and over again. There's something about that vehicle that attracts gender nonconforming lesbian or bis. I don't know what it is, but it's a useful vehicle, but I think it's the fact that it is good for the city and for the country, because when you're a lesbian, you got to go where the ladies are. You know what I mean? That's what I'm always saying.
I read some article that's like in the 90s, they did an ad with two women in it, and that was like a car company coming close to acknowledging that lesbians exist. And that was kind of why it was like, oh, hey, this company's like shouting out to us. I don't know if that's the origin of it or if that reinforced it, but
That's why at Winslow Automotive, we're going to have mandatory lesbian vehicles. You have to be a lesbian in order to drive our car. We check.
Made for you, and every vehicle is previously owned by at least one lesbian. We guarantee it.
Exactly. You can tell. Yeah. No, they have like a blood test where like they could tell if you've been around men too much, and it's like a breathalyzer, but you just have to prick your finger, and it just reads your blood and starts the car. I don't know what to tell you, man. Wins and demands, lesbian only cars. Yeah. Anyways.
That's great. I'll continue his post here. So after the auction, he goes, Josh Jones and Mark Mitsubishi in Scottsdale, Arizona emailed me after the auction had ended and informed me that the car had been sold to an auto broker for a greater amount. The auction did not end early and was not canceled. And he includes the message from Mark, the email here, and says, I have to apologize. He misspelled it 2 ways, put 2 P's and an O. Must apologize. That Evo was bid by an auto broker for $32,987. I do have other Evos in stock. Again, I apologize. This time he misspells it differently. Thank you, Jaws Jones. His name is Josh Jones, but he spelled it J-O-N-S. Like, very quickly
either typed with one hand or like he had his fingers broken and he had to peck with his nose. There's a lot going wrong here.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this delicious Slim Jim, but I'm going to stop eating it to type.
I'm enjoying this delicious Slim Jim.
That's what I name the food out loud when I'm eating it. You know, the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
To continue, he goes, I consider this very unethical behavior. Mark Mitsubishi in Scottsdale, Arizona apparently was awarded Mitsubishi's Diamond Chapter of Excellence. If Mitsubishi awards its dealer Diamond status, I do not know if I could ever recommend a Mitsubishi product to anyone, but, buddy, you were impressed with the award. Buddy.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Max Power? No, it's JD Power and Associates. It's like, yeah. If you name your son JD Power, he's going to have some associates. You know what I mean?
He's got a lot of associates.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes, I called Mark Mitsubishi late Friday afternoon because Mark Mitsubishi never contacted me via any method, despite several emails on my part requesting the same. I spoke with Josh Jones, the internet sales manager. Mr. Jones is fairly professional in demeanor given the circumstances. He informed me that he would not sell the eBay car to me at the auction price because it was worth far more than that.
All right.
I'm not selling it. I'm not making nearly enough money off of that.
Yeah, I do like when they're just like doing the Mac from Always Sunny, where they're just like, oh, I'm going to do the unethical thing that harms you. You know, I'm going to play both sides. You know.
He said the car was already sold to another buyer. He said he was a businessman and got a better offer, so he took it. I informed him that he was in violation of eBay rules. He told me to read the fine print, which allowed his actions. I told him he was under certain contractual obligations when he placed his item on eBay, and he did not comply with them. He also said he was very busy and did not get a chance to cancel the auction after receiving this alleged better offer. He informed me the car was, quote, gone or, quote, sold, and asked what I wanted him to do. And that is like a part of it too. He keeps saying like, oh, well, in the body of the text on the auction at the bottom, I put a thing that said I'm allowed to cancel it whenever I want. So even though the eBay terms, as we'll see, explicitly forbid this, I put it in there, so I'm allowed to do it.
Yeah. This is the exact same brain that brought you the I do not permit Mark Zuckerberg to steal my data. You have to post this, don't share it. Which I've seen adult friends of mine posting shit like that of like, I don't permit anybody to use my stuff for AI. You can't touch me. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, these people allowed a genocide in Myanmar to occur because they didn't hire anybody that spoke Burmese. I don't think that they give a fuck about your little post. It's people desperately not understanding how legalism works in this country, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it won't blow up in their faces and continue.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones said he was not going to sell me the car because I threatened him, and then mentioned a letter of complaint I had sent him at Mitsubishi Motors, and I never threatened anyone at any time. I did, however, file former complaints with the Better Business Bureau, eBay.com, and Mitsubishi Motor North America. I forwarded copies of the same to Mr. Jones. This was an ongoing thing, and he had been escalating it, and this was the point where they finally told him off, I guess. And he concludes, he goes, I told him I thought I should be the legitimate winner. He told me to give him negative feedback on eBay. I asked him if he was refusing to take my deposit on the eBay car. He said he was refusing the deposit. I called the dealership the evening of the auction, approximately 1 or less hour before the auction closed. The salesman who I talked to did not mention the red eBay car with leather and DVD was sold. I'm not sure, but my brother is probably ashamed to be Scott for fear of having some connection to Mark Mitsubishi in Scottsdale, Arizona. Just venting. Thanks, Mark D. So yeah, that's the post that kicked it all off.
Well, man, it's funny that, like, you and I both know that internet controversies like this can, like, spin wildly out of control really fast and end up, like, really hurting people. But I'm not going to be satisfied unless the man who slipped this car out from under Mark D, I want his dick frozen off, and I want him to be crucified with shards of it. Do you understand? Like, I want this man punished.
Yeah, I think that's part of why this story took off is because, yeah, like everybody who's ever had to deal with a car dealership has had a bad experience with it. Because, yeah, it's like I don't need to do the whole backstory on it. Like the only reason they exist is because they're legally required to, and it's just like like the behind the basket things about like car dealerships and MLMs and real estate are like funding every evil thing in the world right now.
Yeah, it's car dealerships, MLMs, and chiropractors. Without those three groups, there would be no Republican Party. Bottom would fall out. There would be no donors except for Great American Child Pornography or whatever the name of that company is. They're evil people, and we want to see them punished.
Exactly, yeah. And you have to take our word for it up front that these people suck. Mark Mitsubishi already had a reputation. I found a 1998 Usenet posting about Arizona car dealerships where they were called out multiple times. Like, we have the 90s internet people are complaining about them.
Jesus.
And we got some quotes here if you want to read one. I can do the other.
The lady that was helping us quit in the middle of the deal. When my mom called to ask when she should come in to sign the papers, they lied and said she was on her lunch break, and then charged her more when she came in. Yep, that tracks.
Yeah, another one, the guy's listing different dealerships he's had bad experiences with. He goes, number 3, Mark Mitsubishi. Put a deposit on a 3000 GT SL. Came back the next day. They had cashed the check, and it took 2 sales managers 5 days and sent calls to Mitsubishi corporate office to get my $2,500 back. Then in parentheses, fuck Mark Mitsubishi. Like,
yeah,
this is on Usenet. Like, this is like an obscure message board for enthusiasts. This is like nowadays where every person with a grudge sees it. It's just random sampling of people like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, to his credit, if your name is Mark Mitsubishi, I guess you kind of have to go into auto sales, even if you're a bad person. Maybe he should have been named Mark Garbage Man, but I don't know. I guess it is good to see, like, your reputation is so shit that you're, like, kind of part of the firmament of the internet where people are mad at you already. Yeah, that's fun. God, what scumbags.
And also finding more old evidence. Ripoff Report, which is absolutely going to be a future episode because the guy who made it is nuts. He has a really weird backstory in life and everything. So that'll be fun to talk about.
It makes me think of iwaspoisoned.com, which is just like, such a collection of little psychos on the internet. But yes, Ripoff Report does sound fun, but go ahead.
Yeah. And so a year before this thread, there was a complaint about Mark Mitsubishi threatening to sue someone over a verbal agreement to buy a car. The quote I pulled from it here says, the dealer talked with the general manager, and then the general manager got on the phone with me and completely intimidated and humiliated me over the phone. He said that he was giving the car away to me and that he would sue me for everything I had if I dared to surrender the car back to him. I told him that the price was ridiculous and that since I had not signed anything yet, that it wouldn't be binding. He very confidently and aggressively told me that that was a lie and that the verbal agreement would hold up in court.
Your Honor, we pinky promised. Dude, that's so fucking funny. Like, because I think I've mentioned this a million times already, but like, there was a guy threatening to sue me over the rat hole, and I was like, "You're gonna sue me?" Like, I was stressed out of my mind when this was happening, and like, when I'm stressed, I tend to believe anybody who's threatening me, right? And even then, I was like, I took a picture of the sidewalk, and you're threatening to sue me. That's not how any of that works, you fucking moron. And he's like, we'll see. And it's like, no, we won't. Well, I guess we did see. You never fucking sued me.
Let me direct you to my lawyer, Leonard J. Krabs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. God. Yeah, that's so funny. Our verbal agreement is enough. Our complete. He said he'd give me 100 Game Boys a day.
Okay. This is how dealerships treat their customers. You see how they treat the people that deliver their car parts. Because I'm very used to having this type of attitude about like things missing or not being on time and things. So just awful experience.
I mean, it does kind of blackpill you to everything, where it's like you just start to look at it all and go like, oh wow, every single person in this transaction has been a deeply wicked individual. Like a truly foul person trying to fuck over the next guy on the line. And all I'm doing is just trying to acquire an automobile. That's all it is. And somehow I'm thrust into the maw of this terrible machine. Fucking dude. I just bought a car at the start of the year, right? I bought that big ass truck.
Yeah.
Not truck, it's a Transit Connect, right? So I am not the thing that I make fun of. But it was just really funny to see like all of these guys trying to fuck me, but I just had different circumstances that prevented them from doing so. And so I ended up, getting out with a certain degree of a deal. But yeah, you just see like a whole bunch of snakes, kind of coiling around you. And you're just like, fucking hey, it doesn't have to be like this. I should just be able to buy the vehicle. Why do we have to do all this shit?
I guess the closest I've had to that was when I was trying to cancel some mobile internet thing. It's the thing where you have to call into a phone number. You can't do it with your thing. And I knew they were going to try and guilt me or pressure me. So they called and asked why I was canceling. I said, I don't want it anymore. And then she just paused for a second and then just moved on. I picked the right dialogue option to skip the part. It felt very good.
Yeah, you just skip right through it. I get it.
Yeah, I should have to do this.
Right.
Cool. And also for the Scottsdale, Arizona posters at the time, Mark Mitsubishi is also somebody they found very nice. They have local commercials that are very loud, featuring their kids, and they always end with the Mark Mitsubishi, Mark Mitsubishi, Mark Mitsubishi, like tagline at the end. So just to make sure you remember it.
Camel soup, camel soup, camel soup.
Smoke.
Yeah, smoke. Yeah.
The name to remember, Mark Mitsubishi. Mark Mitsubishi. The name to remember, Mark Mitsubishi. Mark Mitsubishi.
A friend of mine was the spokeswoman for a local auto dealership, and I just remember being like, oh, this is so funny because I know who you are, and I know your pee-pee poo-poo jokes, and I know your insane real life. And so to just see you in a dress trying to sell me a truck is just very funny to see.
Oh, that's very fun.
Yeah. No, yeah, I had a whole thing a bit ago about hating when I see an ad for a company. And it's just like, Daniel's Engines is a family company. And it's just got a billboard with a goofy picture of their kid with too many fucking teeth. And he's a little cross-eyed and he's got those little kid glasses. And I'm like, I don't know what your company does. I don't know. Who gives a fuck if you're a family company? I would actually prefer if you were a company of enemies. Because then you try to fuck each other over and give me a better deal. The fact that you're a family is actually bad for me because that means that you're all going to lock arms and hold it against me. No, I don't care about your family. I don't care about your ugly kid. Just tell me what your company does. I'm tired of billboards that say that you offer business solutions. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. You sell auto parts? Great. If I need auto parts, I'll go to you. I don't know what a business solution would even be. Anyways. Mark Mitsubishi, yeah. Mark Mitsubishi is it's a great slogan, man. I cannot knock it.
Yeah, and so I have a post in the forums because I think it would benefit everyone in Phoenix to have those dumb Mark Mitsu ads stopped on the radio. Mark Mitsubishi. The ads really suck with ads misspelled.
Yeah, I mean it is very true.
Yeah. And we don't have to read all this, but he did breach the contract of his eBay listing. I'm not a lawyer or an internet lawyer, so it's 2003 eBay, so none of this is relevant to now. But it's supposed to be when your thing completes, it's binding. He bid on it. You're in a contract to pay for it and to provide the goods in exchange for the money. So
there is a caveat of what if you don't want to. So yeah, in eBay's rules, it says no worries if not at the very end. It says the person with more money can do whatever they want. Is basically how that always works. So yeah, it is not permitted for a seller on eBay to refuse payment or delivery of an item at the end of a successful sale. say what you will about eBay, they got you there. That's it. It is not permitted for a seller on eBay to refuse payment or delivery of an item at the end of a successful sale. Okay. How does Teflon Mark wiggle out of this one?
Yeah, and of course, this is back in 2003, so even back then it was impossible to get an actual human being to respond to a conflict on eBay. He was trying to contact them and just getting automated responses and making threads on eBay. Had a forum back then, so he made some threads in their forum, but didn't get responses. So, yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
And just to sort of add the insult to this, the VIN number of the eBay vehicle was still registered to Mark Mitsubishi throughout all this, and it was still on the lot listed as a sales price of $39,000. He very obviously did not actually sell the car. Also, I should surprise, but Mark Mitsubishi is the name of a dealership. There isn't actually a guy named Mark Mitsubishi. I don't know why I'm referring to them as a collective like this, but
I guess this whole time I've been thinking that I obviously know that his name isn't Mark Mitsubishi, but I figured it was like, George Mark of Mark Mitsubishi, and we were talking about the titular guy. So who specifically? We're talking about Josh?
Yeah, Josh was the salesperson who, at this point, he was handling him, it sounds like, and who gets involved more.
I do like
I'm referring to the dealership as a whole, just because, they're all working in tandem. They're all collaborators.
Yeah, exactly. They're all confidants. Yeah, okay. I do like that we have forum user Jupak42, Scooby Guru, member number 23260, location 31 Jew Crew, vehicle Patrick Willis for Rookie of the Year. And he says, "This is lame. Take it as far as you can in the legals." Take it as far as you can in the legal system. But I do like that, even if spelled correctly, the implication here is take it as far as you can in the legal system, being like, you should do as much as you can with the law. It's just like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that is a good summary of a lot of the reactions. Is people are very enthusiastic, but also just kind of like, yeah, someone should do something about this. Other people do something about this.
Exactly, yeah.
I have a post here from Asian Prophet. It says, I am a law student and am familiar with your plight. The same thing happened to me a few months ago. The actions of the dealership in question and the salesman as the agent of said dealership are illegal in the strictest interpretation of the law. If you want to talk to me more about this in detail, I'm certainly willing to help and be more than willing to put the full use of law for professors to use. And then he gives them contact info. Like, that is another very sweet sort of thing about this. People just be like, yeah, here's my contact info. I'm a student or I'm a lawyer. I will help you with this. Just people come like, yeah, we want to help you because, fuck this guy. It's like before we had Twitter main characters, this is a very early fuck this guy moment.
It is also very funny back when the internet was so small that you could just post your contact info and that was it. And now there's obviously ne'er-do-wells who would take advantage of you, but there's also website scrapers and stuff like that will just, scoop up all of your details. But I was thinking about back on America Online, AOL, if you're nasty, people would have their away message as just their home phone number. People would post their home address and be like, party at my place. It's like, really? Fuck. It's nothing like that now. You can't post your fingertips because they can figure out who you are because of a photograph of your fingertips, man. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, and this is a very different time.
Yeah, I love when I see an old website. They're like, if it's an emergency, you can call me at between these hours. Just
there's websites used to have hours where if you went there after hours, the website would be down. What? Imagine explaining to a Zoomer that not only did we have to pay for texts, we would have to pay per minute, and so you would right up there with the MySpace top 9 or whatever, you would have to gauge how much you liked somebody by how many minutes of your prepaid plan you would be allowing to them during your phone calls. The affinities of the internet have kind of flattened all of that. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's just an interesting change, It
is. It's worth noting. It came up there. Yeah. And also, people do some digging and found that this isn't the first time he's done it on the eBay account as well. When another post Mark made, he goes, prior to my complaint, Mark Mitsubishi had 2 vehicles for sale on eBay. I believe the second vehicle was a Camaro. If I'm correct, the Mark Mitsubishi listing for the Camaro was withdrawn from eBay prior to its scheduled completion time. I have no idea if this was voluntary or involuntary. So no, they're just, that's not exactly the same, but they're polling stuff. It's just kind of like, okay, something's up with this. So we,
Yes.
you know, yeah. And so his conclusion is, he goes, eBay doesn't really care about you or your transaction with the dealer. eBay does care about the public perception of their auctions. You might want to post this info on multiple forums, Evo, Mitsubishi, Cart Talk, etc., to get the word out. eBay wants folks to think their auctions are legit. So he had with the classic call to action, just like, yeah, I can't really do anything about this. The only thing they care about is publicity, so spread it like wildfire.
Yep. That's all you can do is just make somebody look bad.
Exactly. Even back in the early days, that's what it was really useful for. Back before you could directly yell them on Twitter.
Okay, so this is a post here from Chapel, who's a Scooby specialist, member 3496, registered January 2001. They did not know what that year was going to be. Vehicle 1995 Roadmaster Beige.
Hell yeah.
Roadmaster Beige. This is completely unrelated, but there's a gag in Firesign Theater, which we should fucking cover at some point in time. But it would just be me reading quotes to you that you don't understand. But this is a later joke that they did, where they did like interviews. They had like a commercial for something where they saved you money, and they did interviews with random people. And it was this woman who just whose name was Manila Envelope, which is already Manila Envelope. And she goes, finally, I have enough money that I can afford to pay someone to kill my husband. I don't know. Roadmaster Beige is just, it's just a great name for a bland Mad Max character. You know, but Mad Max if he had male pattern baldness is what I would say. Yeah.
Mad Max if they still worked in an office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the thread after this becomes people just listing off car forums. So I'm not going to post every single screenshot of that, but yeah, just to give an example of how much this blows up, I have this listing of the posts.
Wow.
First day, on the 24th, he gets 5 posts. Gets 9 posts on the next day, 26, 2 posts, no post the 27th, 1 post the 28th, no post the 29th. October 30th, he gets 31 posts, and on the 31st, he gets 618 posts. Like on the Halloween, this is
on Halloween, people definitely making it scary for Mark Mitsubishi.
Yeah. In the course of one day, it goes from 43,000 views to 284,000 views. Like this is, in the early internet terms, this really explodes very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say that this was during a time when you could actually elicit change from online furor, but you could still do that to a certain degree. The podcast maintenance phase did a thing about the food babe who would just start these insanely poorly advised petitions against companies to like remove certain food colorings from their products, and would get like hundreds of thousands of signatures. They would eventually do it, but insofar as like you can't make Ticketmaster not be Ticketmaster, right? Like you can't make there's no amount, like literally everybody on the planet hates Ticketmaster and their fees and all their bullshit. All of these people working together would not make Ticketmaster not be Ticketmaster, right? That's the power of the monopoly. But Jesus Christ, I'm looking at the list of different car forum names.
I compiled just this wall of car forums that came up because there's just so many of them. It really makes you appreciate just how many of these things were bouncing around back then. Just all these names. And
Club Focus, Honda Tech, S10 Forum, Gallant Center, is300.net, ls1.com, My Ford Focus, 7th Gen Civic, PT Cruiser Club, Bimmer Forums, Turbo Buick. If there was a wild one in here. J Body, Prelude, probetalk.com.
Toronto birds, yeah.
F Body Addict. Come on. F Body Addict. T-Bird and Cougar Club of America. And then there was one that was just called Anti-Rice or RiceCop.com. Is that a reference to Japanese cars being called rice burners?
I think this was like in the modding times. They called rice rockets was a term they would use for like modified import cars. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but it wasn't what they were called back then.
Yeah, that's like I'm familiar with the. Oh wait, hang on. PHAT, fatsaturns.net. Boy, Astro Safari. There's a bunch of these, man. People are having fun.
InitialD.com for the anime fans. And
Yeah.
the Cart Talk forum for NPR. So Cliff and Clack, I might have seen this at some point.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. At the very end, there was also astrosafari.org, which was very funny for me because I grew up with an Astro van because, when you have 5 kids, they can't all fit in a regular sedan. And just the idea of a Astro van enthusiast, to me, it's funny because it's just like the van I had growing up.
Yeah, I mean, when I was trying to find a new vehicle, one of the things that everybody kept telling me about was gotta get a Sienna, because it's got this big open back, but there's like such a long fucking car, and I'm also I just don't want to drive a minivan. Okay, hold on. I also posted on DVD Talk, the owned forums, bodybuilding.com, Fat Wallet, Cycle Forums, Total Fark, NeoWin, Dino Cow, Mid-South Raves, DDRFreak.com, Star Wars Galaxies, Albino Black Sheep. Oh,
and
boy.
Finally, this last one. So I'll do the lead in. So someone's talking about how he should sue him, and he concludes, bend over, grab his ankles, and then continue to pound him dry.
Yep. And that is from gayinfo.org.
No, they say, already taken care of, honey, and then they link to gayinfo.org where somebody made a thread about this.
Yeah, buddy. All right, this is fun.
Yeah. A little bit of a downer to really sum up the 2003 to something. I got a quote. If we could fight war on terror like we do car sales, man, ... we would kick some major ass. Yeah, this is just a couple months after the invasion, so people.
Yeah, we didn't realize that we were going to get our asses kicked for forever.
But the Flash cartoon said we were going to kick the ass and then going to come home.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't lie to me.
Yeah, it's just crazy that we still have so much bravado when the Taliban are still in power. We fought them for 20 years, and they're still in power. So, well, the good news is that we left them tens of thousands of our best machine guns and tanks and shit. We just left all that shit behind. So, thank you for that.
It was a draw.
It was a draw, exactly. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Got it. And also just very fitting for the show. I found someone goes, Jen May ought to do something. Someone with an account at Something Awful, get this into GBS, stat. And unfortunately, I couldn't find a Something Awful thread about this in the archives, but this does feel like something they would have been into.
Yeah, absolutely. Though, there's 2 different responses to this, which is one, fuck this guy, let's get him. And, 4chan is not your personal army. And obviously 4chan and Something Awful are very different, but I could see this very easily turning into something where they're just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Go away.
Yeah. There were a few people who had to be like, oh, quit whining. You're so entitled. You aren't owed anything. But they mostly got shouted out by people or drowned out very quickly. This thankfully not as much as you might expect for the time. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I actually am owed things according to the contract that both of us signed. So...
entitled purchase of things they are literally entitled to objects they bought.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so the fun part about getting all these people together is since they don't really have a formal avenue of attack, we start getting some chicanery. People start getting up to some mischief. So they have some classic old internet stuff posted in MIDI wall. There are plenty of adult-oriented spam lists to sign the dealer up for. And then they list all these different email addresses that they've tested, like an info @ sales @ president @ or like Josh Jones. Here's ones you can try to get him. J Jones @ Josh @ Josh J @ people are trying to coordinate harassment against these people now.
Yeah, I mean, fuck them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. One of the emails someone said the subject got ethics. Apparently not. Which this is
not ethics. Okay, Jesus Christ.
People on the internet being mean in a time when that wasn't going directly to threatening to kill your family, and this is it's like smooth move, idiot. That type of meanness.
An email that just says boo. Yeah. Okay. The phone numbers are posted.
Oh, yeah. Since it's a public business, that means their numbers are online, so people start calling them. We got a quote here. He goes, I just called Josh and asked him, how do you sell a car on eBay and not let it go after a guy won it? That's fucked up. His reply, who's this? Me. That's really fucked up. Click. He hung up.
I mean,
the breathless delivery of getting hung up on is very funny to me.
Yeah, and lots of ellipses here. This is great.
Yeah. Of course, there's like local news is contacted, the Better Business Bureau page. Another phone call they got. My lawyer will be contacting you on this issue.
Your lawyer handles your car deals? Interesting.
My lawyer is handling this particular issue.
Great. I look forward to the call. I would say a good lawyer is probably what your crooked ass needs right now, don't you think?
Have a nice day, sir. Click.
Yeah. Just putting lighting some fires into this guy's ass, and oh boy, they made shirts.
I couldn't find the pictures, unfortunately. The Cafe Press store was preserved, but not pictured. But yeah, someone in the forum started making these shirts about the Mark Mitsubishi thing. They sold it for $1 over the Cafe Press bottom and swore to, if anybody actually bought it, they'd give the money to Mark D. And I don't know if anybody actually bought it, but it's a funny goof that somebody was doing that.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm kind of breaking these up with phone calls. We have another one. I'll start with here again. So this is Josh. How may I help you?
Hey, Josh, my name is Matt Blank. I'm calling in regards to the Evo from eBay.
Are you the winning bidder from the auction?
No, but I'm a concerned friend and a possible customer.
Why are you calling? This matter is none of your concern. Click.
Hello? Yeah. So just like consistent harassment. Yeah.
Yeah. And also it's an example of like other forums it was posted to. And also a good mark of where we are on this. But this thread is up to 87 pages now. It's like the thread's up to 87 pages and people are still circulating it and spreading it. So you can kind of see just a cutaway of what it looks like on the other forums as people post this.
Yeah, I just think it's one thing for like the sales, for like the owner of the business to do it, but for just some fucking guy that now has put the entire company on blast for like days at a time. I mean, that dude has a hard time going to work. Let me tell you, that guy is having a real hard day.
Yeah, they're really rubbing it in with him. Another one I have here. Well, I just called them up saying I worked for an affiliate of Fox News, that we wanted to run a report on this incident on tonight's show in the local area. And the guy was just quiet. Then he just hung up.
Yep. That's a good way to get him.
Yeah. Also, very much of the time, you have people calling to send it to both Bill O'Reilly and Michael Moore. Like there's the angel and devil who to send this to. Yeah,
that's so funny. The idea of sending it to Bill O'Reilly as if he gives a fuck about another human being that he can't like sexually assault. That's not going to accomplish a single fucking thing. But yeah, Bill O'Reilly, before he was writing books about like, you know, killing Geronimo, which was written by somebody else, you know, or killing who, because all of his books now are just about killing different figures who, many of them weren't even like necessarily killed. It's just about like the end of their story. And so it's like, you're killing Bob Dole. And it's like, I don't think that he died in war. What are we doing? Why are you doing this, man? Killing George H.W. Bush. And it's just like a picture of a cluster of cells that is rapidly spreading through his spine or whatever. Yeah.
And also, very at the time, someone makes an AIM chat room for people to discuss this live as it goes down. So you have like a
public AIM chat room. That's crazy. All right. I just spoke to the Mitsu corporate. Before I could give any major details of the situation, I was told that they have been made aware of the issues with Mark Mitsubishi and things are being escalated to very high up management. The gentleman took around 15 minutes to discuss the issue and ask detailed questions. Looks like what we are doing is making a difference, and Mark Mitsu is about to be getting shit from above now. Yep. You love to hear it. Exactly. I hope this has a good ending.
Me too, yeah. And so just continuing to get updates. If someone says that they've already spoken with 10 to 15 people earlier, they weren't even handing out tracking numbers at that point, just taking names.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just the little glimpses behind the curtain of how people running around with their hair's on fire. This place is very fun.
Yeah, they started blocking people outside the area code. That's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when you're a business, also like car dealerships usually do a lot of sales out of their area, so they're like cutting into their own business. Like, all right, let's turn on the phones for a minute there.
Right.
And so, Mark, November 1st, this is when Mark Mitsubishi starts replying to negative eBay commenters and emailers with this copy-pasted update, where he repeats that, we said we were allowed to cancel anytime. That concludes, we did have another brand new Brand Evo in stock and offered it to the high eBay bidder for a similar price and have not heard back from the bidder. So this is the point where, to placate, he's like, okay, we can have a different car for that price, but it's not the same vehicle, and it's $2,000 less than the sticker price instead of the much bigger discount for this one. So they're now trying to placate him instead of admitting fault.
Yeah, and it's also just like, at a certain point, it's like, No. Give me what I am owed. Give me, I don't care. Give me what I want. Because, like, if they said, like, oh, we'll give you this, somehow demonstrably better vehicle, it'd be like, you're gonna fuck me. You're gonna find a way. And I cannot trust that vehicle is gonna be sound. No, I don't trust it. Give me the thing that I was owed. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't placate me.
Exactly. Yeah. And also November 1st is when the eBay starts deleting critical comments and threads. But admittedly, people were getting a little rowdy. One of the quotes I have from the forum here. So who posted the picture of Hitler on the eBay forums? Lol. The whole thing is getting out of control.
Yeah. Have we heard anything from the original poster yet?
Not yet. That's a part of this, is that Mark D sort of vanishes for a little while. So this is all kind of happening in absentia. He just made that original post basically a little clarification and hasn't posted since.
Interesting. Okay. What if Mark D is Mark Mitsubishi?
Right. Some people do start to wonder about that as it goes along. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No surprises there.
Yeah, so November 2nd, so this thread is over 80 pages at this point. It's getting a little too long and unruly to actually read. So somebody makes a website to sort of collect and document all the evidence and what the thing is. And people mirror it as well. So here you have just a classic sort of website. Why do I not trust Mark Mitsubishi of Scottsdale, Arizona, with links to, and also links to the t-shirt as well. So we got a whole little community springing up here.
The name of the website is what again?
cubefactor.com. This was somebody's personal
okay.
website. They hosted just a little. They didn't register a domain for it.
I was about to say, I thought the name of the website is Why I Do Not Trust Mark Mitsubishi of Scottsdale, Arizona, which is the most targeted individual ass name for a website. I am being targeted by the government and the associates.com /targeted.
Like a domain that long, it'd be really cheap or really expensive.
Yeah, because there's a fucking loser diamond salesman in Chicago, and his billboard is right by my house. And it's just, I hate Mark Stevens or some shit.
I have one of those near where I live too. Yeah, they got the synthetic jewelry company.
Yeah, and it's like for years it's just been like, I hate Diamond Guy, and it's just like I refuse to Google it. I refuse to find out. But like what I've gleaned from other things is that like some other diamond seller was like, oh, he's selling diamonds so cheap. I hate this guy. I can't sell my diamonds anymore. And so he made it his whole identity. And it's like, anybody who makes anything their whole identity is fucking annoying. Anyways, tell me more about why you don't trust Mark Mitsubishi.
Yeah. And so on November 3rd, after over a week of radio silence and over 500,000 views on the thread, Mark D finally returns to the thread after being out of town. So their update here, they go, wow, this thread is amazing. It seems like the entire world hates car dealers, eBay, and Mark Mitsubishi. I need to catch up, page 78 now, and determine what should happen next. And he gives an update. He gives a quote from an email that he received from Mark Mitsubishi. And this is Josh, I believe, talking here. But because you seem to become so upset over the situation, we would be willing to sell another brand new Evolution we have on the lot right now for $26,995 plus all applicable fees. Yeah. Because you're so upset over the situation.
Jesus Christ.
Why are you upset over it?
Yeah, I have argued with girlfriends that are a lot like Mark Mitsubishi. You know what I mean? I have argued with people who are just like, because you seem to be upset that I hit you with my truck, I guess I will. I guess I'll do a worse thing that I promised to not do. Jesus Christ, this guy's just scum all the way through.
Yeah, having that much attitude did not do much to endear him to this angry model already. And also, this is the part when Mark starts getting contacted by reporters, because this is blowing up enough that I have a quote here. Mark, my name is Mark Brunker, and I'm a reporter with MSNBC.com. I'm working on an article on eBay motors and online automobile auctions in general, and would like to talk to you about your experience with Mark Mitsubishi if possible. You can reply and give us his contact info. Yeah, this was a guy I looked up. He did do some reporting on eBay scams around this time online. So yeah, this is finding an audience in journalism around this point.
Yeah, Mike Brunker. I don't know. I just think that's a fun name. Anyways,
name you're talking today.
Yeah. So wouldn't you know it? Let's see. That very day, there's a response to Mark Mitsubishi's negative feedback on eBay. Response by Marks_Auto. miserable under high bid, trying to contact Bigger for payment and shipping. So they finally caved, and turns out the car that was sold and was gone wasn't in fact sold and gone. Interesting.
Yeah, and then the next day, Mark D posted and confirms it. He says, "It's true. Mark Mitsubishi offered me the same eBay Evo at the final auction price. Many of you knew of Mark Mitsubishi's offer before I did since I was at work. I was informed that the car was not titled and the full factory warranty would be in effect. The finance manager did not know the exact mileage, but he informed me that the car remained at Mark Mitsubishi after the auction." So yeah, they didn't even take it off the lot. The dealer is researching tax issues for an out-of-state sale. This thread is amazing. Thanks to all. So yeah, they were full of shit, and they did have it the whole time. And,
yeah. I, well, I guess we'll get to it at the end, but like, I just imagine that I'm on the fence. I can't tell if this would just be catastrophic for the reputation of Mark Mitsubishi, for your reputation to be inextricably linked to the brutal fucking over of one of your customers, or if it's just something that fades into the background radiation of just like, you can just run an ad campaign and get people to forget about it. But it seems like
buy cars,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think a fun detail we got during this part was Mark D says the finance manager informed me that he had received about 1,400 emails over one day, if I understand that correctly. So that's how many emails they got in just one day when this was at its peak, 1,400.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't have broken the contract. They should have not. When you are the head of the company and you find out that this is happening, they took them days to be like, okay, we will do the thing we are contractually obligated to do. So it's a bummer for the front desk lady for sure, but yeah, that's your responsibility.
No, it's funny you mentioned that, because when this was all over, one of the things was like, the person at the desk couldn't handle all the calls and direct them. Somebody actually bought flowers for her on FTE and sent them to the office for dealing with all their calls. The card they included said, "To Kelly, you earned these for your continued professionalism on the phone with the multitude of callers for, quote, that Evo, -NASIOC.com and auto enthusiasts everywhere." So,
okay, that's sweet.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Fun looking in detail there. Yeah. And so after this concluded, Mark D goes radio silent for a few weeks, which leads to people starting to get paranoid and being like, wait, was this all a con? Was this scam? Is Mark D there's of course people accusing him of being viral marketing, which is always very funny. Like, the worst thing that could possibly happen to the company, they're just doing that to promote themselves.
Yeah, viral marketing. Okay. I mean, yes, there's been a lot of bad things of viral marketing, but I don't think Mark Mitsubishi is like, let's absolutely tank our reputation as a part of a viral marketing stunt. The new Nestle product, let's poison a bunch of people to get people to find out about double fudge cookies or whatever the fuck. I don't think it works like that.
Yeah. And then the final update we get is on November 16th, so just about 2 weeks after this all started. 3 weeks, actually, now. So this experience has been memorable for me. With input from my family and friends, I reversed my decision to buy the eBay Evo. I simply decided I might be happier with this completely behind me. I informed the dealer of my decision 2 days after my acceptance. I have no doubt that if the dealer had honored the auction without delay, I would have bought the eBay car and been happy. Although the details of the dealer's latest offer appear similar to the terms of the eBay auction, the deal does not feel exactly the same to me. The damage to trust is too great, IMO, to take a $26,000 gamble. I wanted the eBay car before the auction and after the auction. I even reserved a flight to Arizona. This experience hasn't been exactly pleasurable for me, so please forgive me for wanting to forget about it for a while and for not posting it. After a public battle with emotional highs and lows, Jerry Springer closes with a few elegant words. I don't have something equally poignant, but something was achieved here. We demonstrated that we want the world to be better than it is. We want everyone to play by the rules. I admitted I could be silly. I would like to thank all the participants who are on my side. I believe my latest actions fall outside the rules covering the auction, and I hope I have not alienated you with my decision. I have a profound respect for the power of the electronic community. I do not plan to post again on this particular topic. Thanks again.
The electronic community. How quaint. I get it. I don't blame him for not wanting to go and then show face at this dealership and go through this kind of intimate process of acquiring a vehicle, because you can never get it serviced at that fucking place ever again.
Yeah. And also, it's a spite level. I don't want to give these people money. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I think that punishing them is probably enough.
Yeah, and so I agree with his decision, but unfortunately, the thread gets closed a page later because a couple angry posters start talking like Sephiroth about how he took advantage of their unsolicited help and was being ungrateful. So I get what the moderators are right to be like, all right, yeah, nothing good can come from this. He doesn't want to talk to him anymore, and they closed it up. But I did get a cute little quote here because, well, that's that. I guess a lot of people wanted a happy ending with pics of the car, etc. What we got was an ending. Not good, but not bad either. Can we ask for more? And, so yeah, and I do have this little quote here, so that was a cute note for the forums.
Since all this is settled, this means we have to go back to the domestics hating us import guys. Frowny face. Yep.
Yeah. It's like that snowball fight during World War II. It's like, all right, back to fighting.
Yeah, back to the regular bullshit for sure.
Yeah. And so I don't have like any hard evidence about this hurting their business, but I will say that this probably did affect them in some way because Mark Mitsubishi changed their name to Scottsdale Mitsubishi, but all the other import dealerships they own are still use the Mark name. So in Scottsdale, Arizona, there's a Mark Kia, a Mark Mazda, and a Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
That's fun. That's a good one.
They did like a Blackwater or Xfinity thing. Like, well, we'll change the name.
Yeah. I do not do this if you're listening, but there is a game that is coming out later this year or early next year called Restless. My game is called The Restless. And so I did recently get an email from somebody who was like, hey, I saw a review of your game. They pointed out like an error in one of the cards, and please let me know if it's going to be fixed. And then they linked me to a review of a completely different game called Restless. Mine was funded first, and mine, I have the trademark on it. But I just think I don't do this. I have nothing against the people behind the game Restless, but to like start a flame war with them so that they have to call their game like, The Adventures of Pim Pennington or whatever the fuck. I don't know what their game is about, but yeah, that'd be funny. Anyways.
Yeah, and this did make me curious, like, what's it like now? So yeah, I checked their Yelp page for Scott. Maybe they changed with their name as well, but no. They have a 1.8 average from 67 reviews, and the majority of them are 1-star reviews.
Damn. Yeah, because I'll bet Yelp has some sort of verification process that would prevent you from just, like, nuke your account, start a new one kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to, like, make an account to make stuff on there, and it's like, yeah.
There's a whole process to it. So
it's not just an anonymous comment form anyone can fill out, yeah.
Right, exactly. I do think that, like, one of the funniest boomer things is the Better Business Bureau, which is just, like, a scam that idiots think is real. It's like, I'll report you to the Better Business Bureau. It's like, do you think that that's a government agency? What are you talking about? Are you fucking 60?
Write your business name on the sticky note and put it on my wall.
And I'm going to shake my fist at it, When I drive by your house, I'm going to grumble. Okay? Go ahead, man.
Yeah. And this video is probably just have a couple of twist quotes here. He goes, I had my vehicle serviced here several times. On the last 3 occasions, the technicians failed to properly fasten my undercarriage after an oil change, causing it to fall off while driving. So, Nightmare.
Yeah. Of the 20 plus cars I've purchased in lifetime this far, this experience was by far the worst. You're buying 20 cars? I mean, maybe you operate
maybe like an
fleet.
enthusiast who flips them or something. Yeah, or maybe a business owner who has a fleet. I can see that too. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, my buddy from a million years ago used to be a car porter. He would talk about like people, like just like car enthusiasts who they just operate with vehicles differently than ever. Like I have a car to go to work and to do my job, but like there's a guy who put like an insanely souped up BMW engine into like an old shitbox car. So like it just looks like this, rusted, falling apart, pale beige, Corolla coming through. But then he like can gun it to like 0 to 60 in like a split second because it's just what's inside that he's obsessed with,
Oh yeah, I think gearheads are really cool. Like the part of car culture that's like console wars, but with cars, I'm not as into. I can definitely respect people who are really into the technical side of it. I'm not wired that way, but I know the basics.
Yeah, there's a difference between somebody who is into engines and someone who is into manufacturers, because every manufacturer is going to find a way to fuck you over. But if you're just into engines and fixing things and making things cool, then that's a different beast. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. One complaint I found in one of the reviews that was really funny was they said everyone here is 19 years old, which suggests they have a pretty high turnover rate. It's just like young and experienced people. Yeah, if you look at their sales page, there's like a lot of dudes with broccoli haircuts in this that look like they are in college.
And they're all, God, dude, Lloyd, Bryant, Diego, all wearing tight white shirts. Like that could be the same picture over and over again. It's all the same, exact same dude. That's so funny. They're all, yeah.
Yeah, if they didn't have different last names, I would think they were all siblings. Like, it's absurd weird.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. They just went to the tiny shirt factory and just bought a whole lot of them. And then I do like the...
This is Arizona. I will say, from living in Florida, you have to wear those athletic polo shirts when you work in automotive, because, yeah, you sweat a lot when you're outside in that weather.
Right. All the other guys are the same. And then Alexander McCain, sales manager. And his is just like, from what I can tell from over here, it is his full body standing up, and he looks kind of jacked. So I do like that he is definitely the Pokemon trainer, and these are his level 5s. He's gathered up here. And then they are arranged by rating, so that Elijah McDaniel is at the very end with a 2.6 star review. Oof. That's great.
Yeah, also, I did check the Better Business Bureau, and 20 total complaints in the last 3 years, 13 complaints in the post 12 months. Latest review, Adrian W., quote, told me to kill myself and very disrespectful towards customers and employees. Very to the point.
Told me to kill myself and very disrespectful is very funny to me that like those two things are juxtaposed together.
Also, I found on our Scottsdale, there was subreddit for Scottsdale. There were people complaining about them this year. From Coffee Cake Waffles on Reddit, it says, we bought a car from them. They were oddly aggressive about us leaving a good review for them. So they're very aware that they have a bad reputation online. And I did notice they do have a couple of 5-star reviews. Like, you can always tell when someone was pressured to give a review, so we shout out the salesperson by name, and like, which people don't do normally.
As if that's going to do literally anything for them. Like, you are food to these people all the way through. And then a prestigious View 401 says, they are not good people.
Yeah, that's the top 1% commenter. So that was like a local Reddit expert. It's like,
that's so good.
God, yeah. And also, one of the things I thought was pretty funny is, like, in the thread, there was a recurring thing where people who lived in Scottsdale would go to the lot to look at it. That's one of the reasons they knew the car was still there. And the people from Mark Mitsubishi were always trying to stop people from taking pictures. This was 2003. In 2016, somebody made the Twitter account @Don'tBuyMarkKia and posted a video of one of the salesmen angrily cussing them out in the lot and taunting them to, quote, take picture, motherfucker.
Take picture, motherfucker. Take picture. Oh shit, we got video.
So here's the video. Also, to make it extra surreal, the car it's yellow with a Pokeball on it that the guy's yelling at in front of.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. I know that it's just your connection, but the fact that it's choppy makes it seem so much more unnerving.
Yeah, and also the fact they stand by the car drives home how short this guy is, which just makes him being so angry, like, funnier. Like, not thinking short people, obviously.
Take picture, motherfucker! Yeah. Like baby Rolf from Ed, Edd n Eddy. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what the car wash guy from Breaking Bad did after he sold it.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah. And the person who made that account elaborates. They go, damaged my car, promised me a rental covered, won't pay me for any of it. Been lied to for 5 months by all levels. Everyone at Mark is manager, and they'll always have a check on Monday. So yeah, this is an ongoing thing. And
I mean,
thoughts. I have one last bomb at the end. So,
no, I you go ahead, and I have stories for the end of this, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just 5 months ago, a sizable automotive YouTuber did an entire video about Mark Kia ripping off one of their customers. Car Edge is their name. They did a live stream and a video. We caught Kia and this dealer in major scam. We're calling the ... with the YouTuber after with 21,000 views. So in a way, it's kind of better. We got to see 90s internet complaining about this guy. We got to see 2000s internet complaining about this guy. Now we're seeing what the modern internet complaining about this guy looks like. Like, it's kind of neat bellwether for how the internet is, just how people are mad at Mark Mitsubishi at any given time.
Yeah, it's just like a guy who smells like shit and gets mad at people for pinching their nose around him. And he spent his whole life, I mean, the guy being Mark Mitsubishi, as if it's like a individual, right? And it's the whole story of this person's life of like since the 90s, fucking people over and getting massive scandals about it. Or like, it's big enough that there's a podcast talking about how much this guy sucks. There's a YouTube video with 21,000 views talking about how much this guy sucks. And it's like, at some point, don't you think he would have just stopped being such a fucking loser? Stop being what you are. Like, you either have to, like, I should change. If my life is causing me misery, I should probably change. Or you just have to go, well, I make more money than less money, and the price that I pay is that I am despised by all. And you have to pick one of those things to be happy about it, because you can't fight. Why does everyone hate me? When the reality is that you're going out of your way to make people not like you.
Exactly, yeah. And so, this is also kind of a message. It doesn't actually change anything, because it's just largely off the internet. Like, they do e-commerce, but even when people research stuff, like, it's hard to just look up stuff. Like, they try to cover up over there. So at least we did get a fun story out of it. And, your periodic reminder that car dealerships as an institution need to be destroyed. There's no reason for them to exist.
Car dealerships delenda est for everything, forever. I will say that earlier this year, I had to go to a show. I took my Transit to a Ford dealership to get fixed up. I have like the complete warranty package for it, because all of my friends that work at dealerships are like, actually, this is the one time that you want to get a warranty. And that's what they said. And I got the warranty. It wasn't that much money, but whatever. And I took it in. I needed to get all of these certain fixes done and an oil change. They had it was the last hour of the last day that they could have done it before I needed the car so that I could go to the next show that I was on. And so because the warranty had a disagreement over paying for 2 hours of billed labor when they wanted to only pay for 1.6, I had to come in and pay it and then call them with the number to get reimbursed. And it took me 8 months of calling them, I would say, to get any degree of reimbursement from this company. And then they sent me, for the $1,300 that I spent on fixing the car, they just yesterday I received a check for, I think, $415 of those $1,300. And so,
I was going to say, of course, the dealership people are going to say you can get it. That's their job, is to give it to people to get it. They're not going to be like, no, you shouldn't get this thing.
Right, exactly. So it's that was a whole fucking debacle. But I got some of the money back, and then it's just like, I'm so tired of being on the phone that I'm just gonna let it be what the fuck it is. I don't care. Just let it ride. I don't care. Yeah. But car dealerships suck. All of that sucks. Buy a bike. That's all I can say.
Yeah, or if you have to buy a car, you can buy them directly. That's how I bought every car I've had. I had to sell my Kia last year, but I got directly from the owner before it, so it was nice. Yeah.
It was like the only reason I went to a dealership is because I needed a very specific kind of car. It's like my stuff isn't for getting to point A to point B. It's like I need this big ass Transit Connect so that I can move an absolutely enormous amount of material across the country. So
yeah. And also, I would say living in Atlantic City, it's cool. Like, you living somewhere where you don't need a car as much. Like, I just need that. I basically have to drive friends for some places, and otherwise, like, I can walk to most places. I need like the grocery store. It's cool.
Yeah. But we thank you for doing all the research for this dickhead. This was a lot of fun to just look at a bad person who sucks, but in a good way. Yeah.
In a relatable way, one that it doesn't require a lot of explanation.
Exactly, yeah. Well, again, listener, dear sweet, beloved listener, we do have a Patreon, $1 a month, get a bunch of different episodes. All of that money goes to Jay and Steve. And also, we are looking for listener responses to any of our episodes, listener questions, responses, anything like that, ideas for episodes. Shoot us an email at iftipod@gmail.com if you want to know more about any of the stuff that we have covered or about us. If you have any questions about us or the pod or any of this stuff, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We are planning to do, kind of a bigger listener response email to like address the fact that our podcast has changed from being specifically something awful to being a podcast about everything on the early internet. So we'll be doing that. We just want to hear from you before we release that. So shoot us an email at iftipod@gmail.com or message us on Twitter at iftipod on Twitter.
Yeah. Also, maybe just making the deal. Patreon did have the ability to gift Patreon subscriptions. So if you send us a message, be like, "Can we read it? We could give you a couple months of the Patreon for free with it as a thank you." So
yeah, for sure.
Little incentive there, by all means.
Yeah, and we usually do a recommendation section at the end of this, but we do the plugs first so that suckers like you, dear listener, have to sit through both. So if you want to find me, you can find me at winslowdomain.com. I've got a bunch of stuff on the website. I still have the game for sale. Winslow Domain on Twitter and Calculations on Instagram. Also, I am presently deep in the weeds and working on the next game to follow The Restless. Right now it's called Project Zerzat, and you can find out more about that, find out its real name. And if you want anything more, you can just check out the Discord, which I have linked in my link tree that is on all of my social media. I'd love to see you there. And check it out. And yeah, say hi. And Jay, where can they find you?
Since again, thank you for Jason for my Discord for giving me this idea. Since it came from my finger to plug my Discord here, so yeah, it's linked in my link tree. It's been around for over 3 years at this point, so I have a nice little community there. And it's if you want to submit topic shows, it's me and Winslow have different Discords that are each like specifically about us, but I have a channel in mind for the show. So I'm usually researching and writing these. So if you have any sponsoring, that's another place you can get me as well. So by all means, and I appreciate getting show ideas. Even if it doesn't make it, sometimes it's just fun to read. Like I had somebody send me a really cool personal website to be like, yeah, this isn't show content, but I think you'd like it, and they're right.
Yeah. I've gotten some people who have found me through you and found you through me. So it's been pretty fun to see the cross pollination of my dorks and your dorks. It looks like you have some retro-ass game that you want to share with me here.
Yeah, I did want to recommend a game I've been playing for a while. I got an update. I play it every now. It's called Utopia Must Fall. It's developed by someone who goes by the name Datasat, which is they're an electronic musician, and they came up this game dev studio. It's sort of like a mashup of a bunch of old games. Like it's a little Asteroids, it's a little Missile Command, little Space Invaders.
That's kind of what I'm
it's sort of a modern like progression, like roguelike system where you pick your upgrades after every round. It gets bigger, and it looks really great. They emulate sort of old vector illustration, so it's all these very bright, glowing lines. And a fun detail I like is when you start out, you're just shooting little triangles, rectangles, and over time it gets weirder. You're fighting like giant squids and like tentacle monsters and stuff, but still in that same art style. It's not like a spooky game; it's just neat.
Yeah, it does look like a game, the name of which I won't be able to remember, but I remember watching my buddy play it on Xbox when I would hang out at his place. Geometry Wars or something like that, where it's just like shapes and stuff. Shapes and
it's only like $8 too. It's not a very expensive game. It's fun to play like a half hour of every now and then. It's always being
yeah, I get it. Let's see here. I think I've already mentioned this or plugged this in the past, but let me look and see what their prices are. I don't know if they've changed anything, but Transcending Obscurity is a record label on Bandcamp, and as of this recording, they are doing a name your price sale on, from what I can tell, everything. So if you're into like extreme music or technical death metal, I just bought 7 albums from them for like $20, and they are all really good. The records that I've been spinning lately, Malignant Reality and Infinite Mortality by the band Replicant, are like, if you're not into this kind of music, it probably won't hit with you, but it's really intense, technical, clicky-clacky death metal, but there's also like a really fun groove to it, so that like usually the music hits my body after I've known it for really long and I know exactly what I'm listening to. But like after one listen of this record, the grooviness of the extreme technical aspects of it is so fucking tight that it's just it's just a real treat. Big fan of that. And I would say that if you're looking for a fun book to read, fun, not terribly fun. I have presently been reading Gang Stalking, The Threat to Humanity by Dr. Corkin Cherubini. We talked about it before we were recording, and I've spent a lot of my life trying to find art and writings of like disturbed people to like get my head into what they were going through.
That's something Winslow met.
Yeah, exactly. And there's an aspect to it of like you kind of want there to be like a brilliant insight into reality that only the fucking crazy people can see. But that's just like Heath Ledger Joker shit. That's not actually real. It's mostly just like coprolalia and weird, insane, aggressive profanity that says nothing. It's just like yammering. I think I've told you about the Three Christs of Ypsilanti. Have I mentioned that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you pull the camera back and read a bit of the work, the writing of Corkin Cherubini, you can kind of see how the gears are spinning, and you can kind of see these reflections of commonalities amongst disturbed individuals who all say kind of similar things. I can't summarize it all right now, but I will say that there's a recurring thing in the first half of the book where this is the actual journals written by a real person. It's not fiction, where he is explaining that the reason that he started to realize that the whole world is like a fake simulation is because ever since he saw a helicopter near his house, he now has eczema, and he's convinced that the helicopter is using, I believe, a cesium density ray to give him eczema. And that's like the sanest part of the book. It's worth a read. It's a deeply strange writing, but that's what I have for my racks right now. Yeah. Well, thank you all for listening. That's going to do it for us this time. And if you want to follow us, you know where to go. We love you all, and we'll be back next week.
Take care.
I'm From the Internet is created by jaybrandstetter in Winston, Maine. Edited by Steve Brown. Music by Steve Is Broke.